Howdy folks. So just a quick video today. I ordered one of these IDE SATA bus board things from eBay a while back, and it finally arrived. And this thing was $2 shipped. So I mean, it's absolutely ridiculously cheap. And at that kind of price, I was kind of wary if it would even work. And but it was below my I don't care threshold, so I just ordered it anyway. And so this is what I got. Now, of course, there's no packaging. You just get the board. You get this, basically it's just a 5-volt Molex to floppy adapter. So you don't need this if you have a floppy connector, but if you don't, you will need this. But it's all crimp type, so it's safe and everything. And then you get a SATA cable. And of course, I don't know, what this is really rated for, but it does actually say that it is a SATA cable. So it doesn't just appear to be some random wires. It does actually appear to be a SATA cable, and this cable does work. And of course, those are just cables. What we really care about is this, and I really wanted to show this to you under my microscope, but unfortunately my microscope decided that it was just going to shit the bed. The drivers don't work properly anymore. I don't know if it's the custom kernel I built or whatever, but I can't get my microscope working, so I'm just going to zoom in as far as I can on this camera, and hopefully that's good enough. So what this board does, if you're wondering why it has two SATA connectors, is because this thing is actually bidirectional. So you can connect a PATA drive to a SATA host bus adapter, or you can plug a SATA drive into a PATA host bus adapter. And depending on which SATA port you use, depends on which direction this goes. It's got this, what I believe to be an ASIC on here. It just says IDE/SATA DOF. And then some number here, B75LN0241. That doesn't return any results when you Google it, so I don't really know what this chip is. But when I got this, I looked at it, and of course it kind of looks pretty terrible. I mean, there's solder residue everywhere. You can clearly tell the connectors were hand soldered, and the soldering job is not great. But I plugged it in anyway, and the drive would spin up and everything, but the host would see that something was connected, that there was a link status change, but it would just continually try to reset the link and nothing would happen. And so I tried a couple different hard drives and nothing worked. And I was getting to the point where I thought, oh well, it's just defective, and what do you kind of expect? So I got out an optical drive, which is kind of what I bought this for. I wanted to use an old IDE optical drive, and so I plugged that in, and it detected, and it showed up. And so I thought, well, that's a bit strange. Why would an optical drive work and not a hard drive? And it took me a while to kind of figure this out. But the optical drive, of course, this is PATA. So PATA has jumpers, remember, for the master, slave, or cable select. And so the hard drives were all in cable select, and the optical drive was basically a master only. So I changed the jumpers on the hard drives from cable select to master, and then they were detected and everything works okay. So there's no manual that comes with this, and nothing on any of the eBay listings I've seen mentions that the drives must be in master mode for this thing to work, but they do need to be in master mode. So that's the key. And it worked with all the drives that I tested it with once I had set their jumpers correctly. And the performance is what you'd expect. It enumerates as it negotiates down to 1.5 gigabits per second SATA link, of course, because it's just UDMA 133 or whatever I think is the highest this goes, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I mean, the solder quality is, it's passable. I mean, it will work, but it's not super great. I mean, that's kind of janky there, and it's just kind of dirty and nasty. I mean, stuff isn't totally straight. I mean, the worst part, honestly, is this connector here. And I mean, I'd probably reflow that, but it does work in the state that I got it in. And you could make this look a lot better if you really wanted to use this, which I think I will, because it seems to work fine. I mean, I wouldn't put this in a mission critical data path, but for something like an optical disc, to salvage some old device and give it sort of new life, I think it's well worth the $2, right? I mean, hell, the cable is probably worth, like a decent portion of that. I wish that this adapter was sort of a pass-through adapter. That's kind of my only complaint about it, because this, if you don't have a floppy connector, you're going to need this, and this takes an extra Molex. So I would have been nice if this was a pass-through adapter, so it had a Molex male and female, and then just 2 wires coming out of the side, because I've seen those, and that way you would only need, if you're using it to go to an IDE drive, you'd only need 1 Molex, which is just for that drive, and this is just kind of hang off of it. But anyway, so yeah, I just thought I'd show that this thing, it exists, it does actually work, but you do need to set things to be master only, and that doesn't seem to be mentioned anywhere. But yeah, I don't really have anything wrong with it. I mean, for the price, it works, does what I want, and I guess it's a good way to do sort of cheap bus conversion. So anyway, hopefully that was interesting, and as always, thanks for watching.